We're glad to have him back on the show. We got Gallatin County Sheriff Brian Gootkin with us, and I think he's doing his workout right now. Are you on the treadmill?
No, just lifting some weights, that's it.
All right, but you do like 10 miles every day before the shift, right?
Maybe a long, long time ago.
Well, thank you for squeezing us in to your day. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what, real quick before we get into things, I just want to let you know, I want to let you know and your department, and I know we've got some Bozeman police officers and CHP out there as well, Montana Highway Patrol, that we just appreciate law enforcement and what you guys do, and we feel like you guys don't get the credit you deserve. So we just want to make sure that you know that you're getting it from us. We really appreciate you and your staff, so thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll tell you what, the support's been overwhelming. It's amazing.
Good. That's good to hear. And it looked like it on social media yesterday. So to get people up to speed, if they don't know, there was an article that came out in the Chronicle on Sunday, and it was critical about local law enforcement, and they were making the case that it sounded like more black people were being arrested for marijuana possession than whites. And you immediately, I noticed in that article, pushed back on that, and then you had some other data that came your way after that. So if you want to just kind of explain your position and what you thought about that whole article.
Yeah, sure. So obviously I had talked to the Chronicle last week, so they had asked me about it, and the ACLU had provided them their data and their report. And so I talked to the Chronicle. I said, well, let me take a look and let me look into it. And then Sunday, I go grab the paper, and I'm sitting outside having a cup of coffee, and I read it, and I'm like, no way. There's no way. And so I asked our people to get on it and start looking at it and look at the numbers and look at the FBI report. And that's when I decided, once I saw the real, not the real numbers because they had real numbers, but, the actual numbers for the sheriff's office and for our local law enforcement, I just felt as though I had to put it out.
So have you had any contact with the Chronicle since that or since you posted yesterday?
I did, yeah. I emailed Nick Eli, the editor, just to tell him that I'd like to sit down and visit with him. And then I also emailed the ACLU, but I have not heard back from them.
The statistics they were using in the article, it was an ACLU report, but it was based on FBI statistics, I'm pretty sure, right?
Correct. That's exactly right. The Uniform Crime Reporting, which is all of our information that goes into the Montana Board of Crime Control, goes to the FBI. So that's exactly what we did. We went to the source and got the numbers that were pertinent to our local law enforcement in Gallatin County, and that's what I decided to put out.
And for someone who's not familiar with those numbers, what are those numbers here locally?
So just to give you an idea, and we focused on 2018 because that was the ACLU's report. They focused on 2018, so we got those numbers. And in Gallatin County, I forget. I'm sorry, I don't have the total number of possession of marijuana arrests in the county, but black people, there were 11 arrests for possession of marijuana, and I believe one person was actually cited twice. And then for the sheriff's office in particular, specifically, we had 2. So 2 possession of marijuana arrests in 2018 of black people.
I think you quoted, I've got your thing pulled up here, you quoted 177 arrests for marijuana possession.
That sounds right.
And that's total?
That's total for all law enforcement in Gallatin County.
Okay. So here's my question, though, and I'm sure a lot of people have this same question. It does look like blacks were arrested more, right?
No. I mean, that's the problem with numbers. What they did was, and again, I'm not a statistician by any means, but I have people that work for me that work with numbers. What they were doing was making it to where it was like 100,000 arrests or 100,000 people. And so when you do that, then it does look as though the numbers are skewed and that black people are being arrested more than white people. But when you look at 500 people out of 100,000 people, that's what I was trying to get across to people. And then the really basic is, for our office, 2 arrests out of, and that's just possession of marijuana. That's not even total arrests. We have a lot more arrests than just a simple possession of marijuana.
Sure. The sample size is pretty small, right, when you're making a case like this?
Well, and that's what I learned more and more after talking to a lot of people is that when sample sizes are this small, there is a very good chance of them not being accurate. the larger, and that's why it's not fair to compare Gallatin County with places like Chicago, New York, those places, because their numbers, they actually have a huge pool to actually draw and do statistics on, whereas our pool is so small.
Right, exactly. So what would you like folks to know? I mean, I thought what you posted yesterday was very heartfelt and very passionate. What since you're on the radio right now, what do you want folks to know out there, in our community?
The one thing that I want people to know is that that's not who we are, and that's not who we are as a community. That's not who we are as a sheriff's office. It's actually the opposite. We are very welcoming. We are very open. We treat everyone right, and I didn't want this to make a us against the Chronicle at all. All of this information came from the ACLU, and in the article on Sunday, if you read it, it says, their purpose is to make marijuana legal. That's their end game, and they have every right in the world to do that. But when they provide that information and lead the people to think that we're doing something wrong, then I have a problem.
Sure. So last time we talked to you, it was just as the mask mandate was going into effect. So it's been about a month.
Yeah.
Can you update us? How has it gone out there? What is happening along, with the mask mandate?
I have not heard of any complaints that we've received. I know initially, I think we had one or two, and we simply went out there and met with everybody, and it was not a problem at all. Everyone's been great. Everyone's been cooperative, and, just the way we expect in Montana. But I'm worried about what's going to happen next week.
With schools?
Schools?
No, there's always something different every week.
Right, it does. It changes quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does. Yeah.
Keeps you on your toes.
Oh, boy.
But it sounds like it's gone better than what you thought it might.
No, I actually thought it would be fine. I told people since day one, this is the way that we're going to deal with this situation, and we're going to work with people, not against them, and I knew how that would work out just because of the people that we work with and also our community. So I wasn't surprised one bit.
All right, Sheriff Brian Gootkin, Gallatin County Sheriff's Office. We caught him on his workout. Thanks for your time, man. We really appreciate it. And again, all that you and your department does, and all law enforcement out there, we really appreciate the men and women that are keeping us safe out there every day.
You bet. Thank you guys for your support. Appreciate it.